Welcome back, Jim2003, I think that was your name. We're having a conversation and I think you've been double posting, you're not giving me a chance to reply, and that suggests you're not reading the things that I'm telling you. So you already have a cemented position in your head. You're speeching to me, this is not a conversation. So here is my reply to you. Your claim was, miracle doesn't exist. And if I was honest, I would agree with you that miracle doesn't exist. But if you'd have read my previous claim, I said to you, whether you believe it or not, I experienced a miracle of God directly, where I physically met God face to face. And that's why I stopped being an atheist that same day and started being a Christian. I went to church, started reading the Bible. So even if you doubt my claim has potential evidence behind it. So you can call me a liar, even though you know nothing about me, in order to invalidate my claim for the sake of yours being true. So that's called selective dismissal. That's what you're doing. If you agreed with my point, you would selectively accept my evidence so that your point could remain true. But because you don't accept my point, and my point invalidates your case, you selectively dismiss me by calling me a liar, despite you have no evidence that I'm a liar. You're only doing that to make your point true. See? So it's a dishonest take that you're using. You're saying I'm dishonest for the sake of your point being true with no evidence. That makes you dishonest. So let's start again. Your claim is miracles don't happen. Please supply me evidence. Or a testimony. You show me even a person who has a testimony that they have seen evidence that miracle is definitely not real. There's no such thing as miracle. Show me a person who will testify this. Then we can apply discernment to that and see whether it's true or not. Or show me physical evidence that miracle is definitely not true. Then we have a conversation on your side. Because currently you don't have testimony or evidence to suggest that your claim that miracle is definitely false is true. You see where I'm going with this? My claim has evidence behind it. Whether you doubt me as a presenter, whether you doubt my honesty or not as a man, despite that you've never met me, you know nothing about me, even though you doubt it, there is evidence there, which is in doubt by you. Your claim doesn't even have evidence there for me to doubt. And there is no testimony. No one is going to testify that miracles definitely don't happen because they can't testify that. It's impossible. So, we're at loggerheads, but on one side, the loggerhead is caused by you selectively dismissing my honesty despite you have no evidence and you don't know me. So that dismissal is probably going to be false. Logically it's false, and unless you can prove it, it's going to remain false. My testimony is true in my eyes, and that means your testimony requires evidence. So I'm not calling you a liar. I'm saying your claim logically doesn't work unless you can show me evidence, because I have already seen evidence to the contrary of it. So, in conclusion, my testimony was, I was once an atheist, doing the same thing you're doing now, exactly the same way, selectively dismissing people to make my point true, despite I had no evidence. But unlike you, I was willing to do the legwork and go and find the evidence. And that is how I found God, because I was looking for that evidence. And even though I was very, very sure, almost 100% sure, that I was not going to find evidence, and that the evidence that I did find was going to indicate God was nowhere, God was not real, when I looked for that evidence, I found that God was real, and it completely changed my mind. I stopped being an atheist, started being a Christian, started reading the Bible, started going to church. That's testimony. So like I say, you can call me a liar, you don't know me, you've never met me, you don't know anything about my life. All you know is I'm making a claim and my testimony invalidates your claim. So you need me to be wrong. That's why you're saying, well, this guy must be a liar. Must be. So you're assuming that I'm a liar, selectively dismissing my claim so that you can remain true, but you're not true. Because you have no evidence. Show me the evidence that miracles don't happen. Show me the evidence that God is not real. Show me one person who testifies this. You won't find one. And that is why, if you think logically, your claim doesn't have a leg to stand on and is probably false to you. It's definitely false to me because I've seen that evidence. Whereas my claim is probably true because it has evidence which I have seen. My testimony indicates that, and there are millions of others across the world who will make that same testimony. And you don't have any evidence to support your refutation. And that's where we are going with this. You need me to be a liar, so you're quite happy to wreck my reputation despite you've never met me. You're willing to put evil on my name, do me a disservice, before you even got to know me, before you even asked me the details of my testimony. You were so sure in your head, God's not real, miracles not real. You are willing to call me and millions of people that you've never met liars, so that you can selectively dismiss all those people and also me, simply so that your claim can logically exist, not even be proven valid, because we know you don't have evidence, just so that you can physically make the claim. And that means you are acting in bad spirit, my friend. Logically, not faith or evidence wise. Your physical claim against me now is that I am dishonest. That's the claim you're now making. You're not making a claim about God being real or true, or about religion being false or true. You are making a personal claim against me that I am a dishonest person and that I am falsely swearing against a God. So think carefully before you answer, because this is going to indicate what kind of person you are, how you proceed. So that's pretty much it. The conclusion is, I made a claim, and I've been making it for over 10 years now, since I first met God, became a Christian. And I'm happy to be questioned. I know people aren't going to believe it, because I never would have believed it either, which is why I went and found the evidence myself. Even though I expected that the evidence was going to indicate God was not real, I was willing to accept that I was wrong and dismiss my selective claim, and stop calling everyone liars, when I physically went and saw that evidence, which I found for myself. And the way I found that evidence is by going and doing a sincere, humble prayer to God as if he was real, in the way that you would do a prayer to a God that was real. I treated the prayer with utmost respect, and therefore God recognized my humility and showed himself to me and proved that he was real to me, and I became a Christian. So that's what you have to do, unless you are too afraid of finding that evidence because you have a horrible life, or I don't know why you'd be afraid of finding God, or that you are being stubborn and you actually don't care whether your claim is true or not. You are just saying no to me because you are acting in bad faith to a complete stranger, and you are willing to invalidate the truthfulness of millions of other people and call all of us liars just so you can stand on this claim which has no evidence behind it. That's basically where we're going here. So that's my challenge to you. Show me evidence that there is no such thing as miracles don't happen. Show me evidence, or just find me one person who will testify honestly that they have seen that evidence and they can describe it. Or alternatively, go off like I suggested in my video a year ago and my video yesterday. Go off on your own, humble yourself and find the evidence the same way that I did. Doesn't matter whether you believe in God or not at that point. You are going through the ritual of prayer to test God. That's what you're doing there. You are testing God truthfully, genuinely, authentically to see whether he's real and he will answer your personal prayer. Not on video, not in front of your friends, not to win a bet or to argue successfully. You are doing that for one reason only: to find out if it's true for you. And then you will find the evidence the same way as I did. You won't be able to transmit that evidence. It will become your testimony. So off you go and do that. Alternatively, you can stick with this position that you are in with no evidence, where you have to invalidate every good man you come across and call them a liar, just so you can stand on this unproven claim. But like I say, that is in bad faith and makes you a bad person. So it's all in your court, mate. Let's see what kind of character you have and how you treat your fellow human being. That's all for now. Hopefully I will hear back from you soon. You will go and find that evidence, or you will do a prayer to see whether God's real or not, and we'll take it from there. So that's all for now. Hope you enjoyed that and you learned something. God bless you all, and I'll see you lovely people in the next one. Bye now.